Fiction for Adults presents a romantic suspense audio drama. Because reality is overrated.
So marketable today. I'm feeling sexy in a commercial kind of way. I'm feeling pretty on the outside.
Star wanted everything to be perfect for her best friend's bachelorette party. She cooked and cleaned all day. Not a speck of dust to be found anywhere in her two-story colonial home. All the guests had arrived. And all would be right with the world if she could just find the damn gold-rimmed bowl she inherited from her dead grandmother. She opened the stainless steel dishwasher and slid out the bottom rack. Damn. A strand of her golden hair strayed from the ball held tight at the nape of her neck. She tucked the wandering lock behind her ear.
What are you looking for?
Maggie set her margarita glass on the granite countertop. I have a bowl that would be perfect for the crab dip.
Everything's great. There's enough food here to feed us 5 times over.
This coming from someone who doesn't eat.
Sage, the wife of millionaire, eccentric, and entrepreneur Zeke Chase, refilled her margarita glass. Her pale complexion contrasted brilliantly with her fire-red lipstick. Her tousled dark hair spiked downward, reaching just above her shoulders with slight wisps stretched in front of her ears. Black leather pants combined with 6.5-inch stilettos and an off-the-shoulder red blouse gave way to her alluring figure. I just wanted to be perfect. That's my job.
Your job is to keep my ridiculously long train out from under my feet.
Tilly pulled the pitcher off the blender and refilled her margarita glass.
If you trip, I am so taking a picture.
When the gold liquid crested the top, she brought her mouth to the rim and slurped a sip. Leaning back, she braced one hand on the counter behind her, and with the other grasped the slender stem of her margarita glass. Don't get too drunk. Nate should be calling any second to check on you, and I don't want him to realize his wife's been drinking. You'll cry, and Maggie's bachelorette party will be ruined. She pulled a glass pitcher of iced tea from the refrigerator. I really don't know how you put up with him.
Well, at least he's faithful.
Tilly, Star, and Sage stared at her. A deafening silence filled the room.
Oh, did I just say that out loud? Yikes.
A few months ago, Star found her fiancé in bed with another woman, and Maggie, her supposed best friend, hurled that memory at her, bringing it front and center in her mind's eye. At least Ty's never killed anybody, but I guess my standards were always a lot higher than yours.
You know why Cam killed him.
Tilly threw herself in Maggie's arms.
Bastard deserved it.
Am I missing something? I thought the charges were dropped. And what do you mean the bastard deserved it?
Star's best friend had survived an ordeal that she couldn't even begin to comprehend. An unfathomable, brutal violence. Violence that would turn most women into meek, frightened souls who jumped at their own shadow. That was how Star would have reacted anyway. But not Maggie. Not her best friend. Maggie was strong, self-confident, and proud. The woman should be idolized, not mocked.
Fuck.
Star would shave her head bald for the chance to turn back time and vacuum up the words of hurt that brought her friend to tears. Star's tears escaped her hold. She rushed forward and circled her arms around her sister and best friend. I'm mad at Ty. I shouldn't have taken it out on you. An awkward silence hovered while the three friends hugged.
Well, that was fun.
Emily walked in from the living room and placed her empty glass of milk into the stainless steel sink.
What'd I miss?
Star wiped the last of her tears away. She picked up a plate of cookies and held them out to Nate's little sister. Are you allowed to eat chocolate chip cookies?
Sure. I don't think one will do any harm.
Star debated whether to invite Emily to the Bachelorette party because she didn't know Maggie well, but Emily never got out much. Until recently, she'd been in and out of the hospital consistently. The poor girl needed to get out more. And this was coming from a woman who had avoided the partying scene all her life. Star sympathized with Nate and Emily's father. Her fragile heart was a worry, absolutely. But Emily was a beautiful woman and would surely attract all walks of life, good and bad. Consequently, Nate and Emily's father strived to protect her heart, both physically and emotionally. Star envied Emily's long chestnut hair and perfect complexion. She was the kind of girl who looked beautiful first thing in the morning without a stitch of makeup. Star was not so lucky. She worked for her beauty. And even then, there were times when her efforts went in vain. Emily was the nicest, sweetest person Star had ever met. Not to mention, she had a fabulous personality that crossed somewhere between sainthood and class clown. And at this moment, her innocence and kindness were just what this party needed. Things were much too serious.
Thanks for inviting me.
Emily stuffed the entire cookie in her mouth, and with round, lumpy cheeks, she licked her fingers one at a time.
Girl, you're gonna make some guy very happy.
Nate glanced around the luxury hunting lodge owned by his good friend Zeke Chase. It was easy to forget the man was a millionaire. Zeke often dressed like a rebel without a cause, rather than a successful businessman with an IQ that rode a thin line of intellectual stardom. He always wore his shoulder-length black hair in a ponytail. A rumor floated he even did his own taxes, but Nate had his doubts. Although he wouldn't be surprised to find out Zeke did do his own taxes. The man was a genius by anybody's definition, having built the engineering firm from the ground up, turning it into a Fortune 1000 company in less than 6 years. The hunting lodge was one indulgence Zeke allowed himself. Unlike his modest 4,000 square foot home and his 3-year-old Ford Escalade. The lodge housed 2 pool tables, a jacuzzi, a heated swimming pool, and 3 full-size pinball machines. A pine table was sandwiched amongst 3 camel leather sofas. The walls glistened with lacquered pine. Decorative gray stone framed the fireplace and narrowed to a column that reached the top of the 30-foot ceiling. Nice. Nate sat on the sofa opposite Ajay. He noticed a smug smile on the stepbrother of his good friend Jags and could hardly refrain from slugging him. Ajay was a loser womanizer who thought of nobody but himself. Nothing was sacred to him, a concept that baffled Nate. Nate loved God, his country, his family, and his friends, and held him in the highest regard. He couldn't understand Ajay and his constant need to bed women and shit on everyone around him, mainly those closest to him. Jags loved his stepbrother, and Nate couldn't fault him for that, since he himself valued his family above all else. But Nate hated the overgrown, dark-haired bully. The man literally turned his stomach.
AJ, how old are you now?
Ajay tipped his head back and stared at the ceiling. A Jack Daniels and Coke balanced on his knee.
He's 28.
Nate didn't like Cam much either, but at least he wasn't arrogant like Ajay. Cam watched over his brothers like a mother hen with her chicks, which Nate could relate to, so he felt some camaraderie with the guy. But Cam was a violent man with a questionable past. He was brought up on manslaughter charges a few months ago, but the charges were suddenly dropped. Rumors spread throughout their small Texas town, suggesting foul play, but nothing was ever proven. Nate wouldn't be surprised to find out Cam had killed the guy. He had the lethal look of a mafia hitman, a trait of his and Ajay's straight-off-the-boat Italian heritage.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Here we got it. No, I'm not working. That's what you really wanted to know, right?
A friend of mine out of Houston is looking for help on an oil platform in the Gulf. It's hard work, but good money, if you're interested.
Maybe if his brothers didn't enable him, he would be forced to grow up.
I live to impress you.
Let's hope that's not true.
You know, it's been 10 minutes since you called Tilly. Maybe you should check up on her.
I'm not going to apologize for looking after my own.
I don't know. She was looking for some company tonight, you know? She hit me up. But I had to disappoint. After all, I'm busy hanging with my buddies.
I'm not your buddy.
Tilly's a passionate woman. Maybe you should read up on the act of lovemaking. Improve your technique.
Nate refused to let him know that he'd gotten to him. But got to him, he did, prompting the slight twitch in Nate's jaw. Are you amused? Because nobody else here is. Grinning, Cam kicked his boots up on the coffee table.
Nah, you gotta admit, the thought of me slipping your wife my big fat sausage. Come to think of it, would you keep an eye out for my sock? Check under the bed.
Sage sold another painting.
Just in time, 'Cause money was starting to get tight.
Life's about more than just money.
Tell that to my brother. I've been home for 2 days and he won't let up about me getting a job.
Maggie and Cam would probably like a little privacy.
Between the restaurant and Bree, they don't really have time for sex.
Nate suspected Ajay was speaking from his ass, thanks to the liquid courage working him like a coconut-scented lotion on a swimsuit model. Cam gave Ajay a questioning look.
See, I've seen the look in Maggie's face when she gets home late from the restaurant. Sex is the last thing on her mind.
Because Ajay the stud knows when a woman wants sex just by looking at her. Ajay laced his fingers behind his head, stretched his legs forward, and crossed his ankles.
I have a lot of experience in this area.
Was there no end to the man's arrogance? Maybe you're doing Maggie, and that's why she's too tired for Cam.
Don't.
Hey, he brags about doing my wife. He must be doing Maggie, too.
Oof. I'm not stupid enough to even joke about such a thing.
Ajay was a large man, and could probably hold his own in a fight. But Cam was even larger, and if Nate had to make a wager, a hell of a lot meaner. That's too bad. I'd pay good money to see your brother kick your ass.
Stop talking about me like I'm not here.
Besides, Maggie's way too hard to handle. She'd drive me to an early grave.
As much as I hate to admit it, I'd have to agree with you there.
First, you knock my sex life. That's one thing. But now, you're knocking my wife.
She's a wild one. Last time I came home, I was at Copper Creek when a fight broke out in the parking lot, and I didn't know what they were fighting about. But these two big guys, were going at it. Cam told Maggie to stay inside. She was right on his tail the whole way to the parking lot. Oh my God.
If I tell Tilly to do something, she does it.
Were you guys born in a cave? I'd prefer not to have a puppet for a wife.
Are you calling my wife a puppet?
Yup.
Everybody, stop. This is getting out of hand. As I was saying earlier about the job in Houston, they're always looking for men. If you change your mind, let me know.
Thanks.
Anybody for a game of pool?
Yep.
Indeed.
Heck yeah.
Fuck.
Get your ass up.
But first, let's make a toast. Take it from a happily married guy. Life is about to get a whole lot sweeter.
Hear, hear.
This must be the policeman I ordered.
You did not.
Oh, I so did.
She cringed at the thought of Nate finding out his wife ordered a stripper.
I've been a bad girl.
Tilly held out her wrists.
Arrest me.
The blonde man tipped his police cap, covering one eye, and kissed her on the cheek. When she closed her eyes and puckered up for the muscular, sun-baked policeman, he planted a quick kiss square on her lips. What's up with my sister?
She's drunk, that's what happened. I need blackmail material.
Maggie fished through her purse and pulled out her phone.
In case she gets me falling on my face tomorrow.
Sage arched her back and wiggled her shoulders as the brawny, shirtless policeman leaned over her.
Yeah! Work it, girl!
It's a good feeling to know your soulmate is legally required to sleep beside you.
Hear, hear.
The nice policeman crawled on his hands and knees with Tilly riding on his back.
Giddy up!
Her short blonde hair lay strewn haphazardly about her head. She swatted the officer on the ass with his own baton.
Ride him, cowgirl!
Ajay, Nate, Zeke, and Jags took turns clinking glasses and bottles with Cam.
You nervous? Only a few short hours left.
Nope.
Not even a little.
Nope.
Where the fuck are the strippers?
AJ. Really?
Fuck you.
Cam rolled his eyes.
The stripper shook his manhood in Emily's face. The pink in her cheeks reddened. When he placed both her hands on his butt,
Oh my God!
she whimpered and turned her head. Her eyes squeezed shut.
Oh my god. Girl, you gonna faint?
Star crossed her arms over her chest.
You think the girl's got a stripper tonight?
No fucking way. Tilly knows better.
It's all in good fun.
The police officer sauntered over to the sofa, where Star sat with her arms and legs crossed. He reached into his snug orange briefs and slid out a business card.
I'd love to go out with you sometime. Call
Star
me.
gawked at the black shiny paper, contempt blatant in her wide eyes and gaped mouth. A look of disdain on her face, as if the man just offered her $100 for an hour of her time. The stripper smiled and set the card on the end table. He bent over and gave her a passionate kiss, his hands cradling her head, his lips pressed hard against hers. Aside from the dance music, the room fell awkwardly silent. The other girls watched in shock, their mouths open as he yanked Star from the sofa and onto the floor. Maggie snapped a picture. Tilly smacked her shoulder.
What are you going to do with that?
Maybe I'll show it to Ty.
No!
He deserves it.
That's beside the point.
The stripper squeezed Star's ass. Go for it, Star.
What do you think Maggie's doing right now?
She's wishing we didn't let our wedding party bully us into all-night bachelor and bachelorette parties. Because we'd rather be making sweet love to each other.
Ajay faked a gag.
Oh, God.
The officer stepped toward Maggie, but she held up a finger. She dashed to the kitchen and returned with a $100 bill. Maggie sat on the couch and held out her open hand. The money lay flat in her palm. Good night. With a wide, racy grin, he kissed her on the cheek and took what she offered.
What in the hell was that?
He would have touched me. Nobody but Cam touches me.
Oh.
Tilly faked a gag.
Wolf Brothers Saga. Fictionforadults.com